Hey everybody, we're back to do part two of the project we showed the other day. We're going to do a reverse stencil and we're using something from Cricut Access. It says you hold the key to my heart. Just pretty much a straightforward image from Cricut Access. We're going to use Apple Barrel White as our kind of base. And so we'll kind of get to it. I did kind of speed it up a bit just to avoid keeping you watching forever. This is the first time that I've done one of these reverse stencils, so believe me, I was taking my time and not quite sure what I was going to do. And in some cases, I actually, as you'll see here in a minute, I think it actually looked better with just the vinyl. But when you see the end result, you can tell me what you think. I'm using Cricut premium vinyl black or glossy black, so the permanent. And I'll tell you, this stuff really sticks, as you'll see here in a minute. I didn't actually have any real significant trouble getting it to stick to my canvas, and I don't know if that's in part because it was done as an acrylic pour, or if it just is that vinyl really is that sticky. But you can see even on the fine details, I didn't have to do that much to get the vinyl to adhere. In truth, I was really surprised how easy it was to get it to go on the canvas, given everything everyone had told me is that it can be a bit of a challenge, but this stuff it stuck like a dream. And you'll see at the end, I didn't even get that much bleed. I got a couple of places where it bled through, but for the most part it was just straightforward. And yes, I do recycle my transfer tape. And I wanted to burnish it down one more time just to make sure, especially in the key and some of those fine details, to make sure. Like I said, I think it actually looked better just with the black on it than it does when I finished up. But instead of using a stencil brush, I'm actually just using Dollar Tree makeup sponges. I know it may seem strange, but I find they work really well when doing stencils to control the amount that I'm putting on. In hindsight, maybe not the best choice here, just simply because it took so long to do this. But I really do enjoy using them when I'm just doing to antique some stuff or stuff of those natures, because it is a lot more control. So yeah, we'll speed it up again here in just a moment, but basically I'm just kind of going through, tapping down as you would expect. And it did end up taking a couple of coats to get everything fully covered. And if you didn't check out the other video, I did show, this is an acrylic pour canvas done in monochromatic, just reds and pinks for Valentine's Day. And I shared that video a couple days or a few days ago, I don't know how long, between getting these two ready. And if I can figure out how, there will be a link to it here. But it's out there as well. It's really very quick, easy to do. It did take a few days to fully cure, because you do have to wait a few days just to make sure. And if you can see on top, you can see the glitter. When I did the acrylic pour, I finished it with a little bit of fine, microfine glitter, aka what I call cosmetic glitter, that I use a lot of times with my soap making. And it's just an iridescent glitter that really does give a nice sparkle and shine. so that you can tell there's some places that I'm going to have to go back over it again. And I do before we get to the end. Of course, I was splattering all over my table at this point. So isn't it amazing how white it got during the break? Yeah, I didn't include it, but I did do a second coat just to make sure it really adhered everywhere. And so this is me removing. And again, I'm going to speed it up here because, as I said, this is the first time that I had done this style. And so you can imagine I was really taking my time and being careful that I didn't peel up any of the paint underneath. But I was surprised how easy and straightforward it was to weed it out. I only had one place where it actually peeled up the underlying paint. It was just a small place. You'll be able to see it here on the word key, the end of the Y in key, but I was able to patch it up, and so that you can't even really tell that there was a problem. There I had a spot of bleed into the D, but I was able to just kind of remove the white. There on the Y is where I ended up. It did peel it off, the underlying paint. So as I said at the beginning, I actually think I preferred it with just the black on the canvas and not necessarily doing the reverse stencil. But as you're seeing it, definitely leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think. Was it better with just the black stencil, or is it better now that it's been painted? And on those script words like heart was where I was so worried that I was going to end up getting a bunch of bleed through, but it came out very crisp, so I was definitely impressed using, like I said, this was the Cricut Premium permanent vinyl. If you can see, I disappeared here. I did such a good job covering it that I had to go look at the graphic to make sure I had gotten all of the little hearts that were out there before I finished it up. Really did peel up cleanly and nicely. If I can figure out how to share it, I'll share the project file out just so you have it. It's an 8x10 size. It is a Cricut Access image, so I'm assuming you would need that. Definitely, if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe, leave me a comment below, tell me what you think. Was it better in the white, or was it better before the painting when it was still the black? Thanks.